Matt, I will start with you as we did yesterday. Tell us about where this idea came from and sort of the process of creating this new story for the Outlander universe.
Well, the idea came from the Outlander books. There's a lovely thread about Ellen and Brian in the Outlander books about they elope and they get married, they move to Lollybrook, and they have kids, one of them being Jamie. So we started looking at spinning it off and doing a prequel, and the thought of doing just that story wasn't quite enough for a full series. And I asked the question, what if Henry and Julia didn't die in the car crash? What if they live? And I pitched it to Meryl, and she thought it was a really good idea, I think.
Meryl, what was your first reaction when you said that?
I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. Honestly, I was like, that's amazing, because nothing is known about Claire's parents. Literally, they died, and we never talked about them again. And I thought, that's amazing.
No, say the brilliant part again.
That's brilliant. But I also love the idea that Matt told me that somehow this meant that Claire's parents and Jamie's parents meeting and their storylines intersecting meant that Jamie and Claire were brought together in a way. So I think that is such a lovely kind of continuation of the story.
Well, Hermione, you play Claire's mom, Julia. So tell us about Julia and what we can maybe expect from her in this first season of Blood on My Blood.
Julia is a woman who lives on her wits and her resourcefulness, and she has to, because she's put into some very wild scenarios, I think, throughout the series. I think you'll see her pivoting and constantly using her intelligence to save herself over and over and over again, is how I put it, emotionally and physically.
And do we see traits that she passed down to her daughter in her? What would those be?
Resourcefulness, intelligence. She's got an artistic way about her, I think, which is similar to Claire. You know, she's got a romance, and I think she believes in. She as much as she's practical, she believes in the fantastical as well. And I think she has one eye in, this world, and maybe one eye in the next, which sort of leans into the time travel aspects as well.
That's great.
Yes.
I like the approval here. I like the support. A lot of support.
Well done.
Let's give her a hand, you guys. Come on. She started it out, so yeah, you deserve a hand for that. Yes, I know you've got some people out here checking y'all out.
I thought it was tinted glass.
Oh, they can.
No. You've been giving them Vicky.
Tinted glass, please.
I was getting changed before. I know, he's terrifying.
Oh yeah, we have somebody. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's happy that you acknowledged him. He's happy you acknowledged him. Did you meet with Sam and talk about what it was like to be playing his dad?
Yeah, we did. But it's funny because Sam and I, we when we first met, we talked on the phone for maybe like 20 minutes for a time just before we started production, and then I met him for the first time, I think probably halfway through production, and my purpose of meeting him was, just to get to know him, kind of pick his brain about some stuff. But honestly, I think we probably talked shop for like 5 minutes or something. And then we just like started talking about completely random stuff, like, I don't know, climbing mountains and whiskey and stuff like that.
Two very important things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
Mad stuff.
Yeah, so which is really nice. It was really nice because we so many people had said we were very similar in personality, and I don't see it, but until we actually met, and I think he probably felt the same way. Like, oh, I can see why this happened here. So that's kind of how that went.
Matt and Meryl, was that easy to cast him in that role?
For me personally, I think they were all easy to cast because they're super talented. And when you see them, you go, wow, and then they start to embody the character that you imagine. So, I'm going to remind you guys how talented you are every day, because you guys kill it. And
it's lovely.
And I see that every day when I see the cut, the dailies and the cuts, and how even more you embody your character, and I really love that. So
Thank you.
And he falls madly in love with someone.
Yeah.
He does. Would you like to introduce us to the love of your character's life?
Yeah, well, I mean, well, when we first meet Brian, he's very, very content with, the way that things are. Yeah. And he meets Matt Roberts. That's the spin-off of the spin-off. But then, we have this chance of fate meeting in a barn where Brian meets the lovely Ellen. He doesn't know who it is at the time until later on in the story. But by that point, Cupid's already shot its arrow and, fate's taken its course.
You fell in love with this eye. This eye through the slat.
Right.
That was it.
That's all it took, yeah.
I always think as well when you say you guys met in a barn, it sounds like you're saying we met in a bar. Yeah, we met in a barn.
Just drop the N a little bit.
1700s version.
Yeah.
it was a stable.
Why is it stable?
Damn it.
Was it stable?
So, Harriet, tell us about Ellen.
Ellen is awesome. I love her. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
No, she is the eldest child of Red Jacob Mackenzie. These are her brothers, Colin and Dougal. She should have been led, really. The only reason she isn't is because she's a woman. She is very strong-willed, very smart. Similar to Julia, she uses her intelligence to engineer situations. Because she's a woman, she cannot say what she wants to say most of the time or do what she wants to do, so she has to find other ways to save herself. But yeah, she's great. I love her.
Why do you think Dad took such pride in you and not us?
Good question.
Feel like it's obvious.
That is, because she's class.
Yeah.
Yeah, she kind of has
got
all of the
Traits.
the traits that would make a good lad.
Yeah.
Whereas these guys, they sort of have them between the two of them.
Yes.
But Ellen is the whole package. Can I say?
She does.
It just sucks that she's a girl.
And they are not respecting that the way they should be on this show at all, guys. Come on.
No, they're not.
Well, Sam and Seamus, tell me about Dougal and Colum.
Salmon Jim. Salmon. Salmon Jim.
Sam and Seamus.
Salmon.
Salmon.
Talking about a spin-off show. I mean,
They follow the Mackenzie brothers. The odd couple.
We must go upriver to breathe.
We were talking about it yesterday. For Colum, it's sad. And Dougal, they both have a turbulent relationship with their father, to say the least. He's a complex character who's a drunk. But Ellen sees him with such favour and love and admiration because she's had this relationship with him. But the brothers are simply not. In his eyes, they've just let him down with tests and like missions to complete to kind of win his approval. They've not succeeded at that. And like Harriet is saying, she is should be the Laird if she was a man. But we're in 1700 Scotland, and that is simply not the case. Colum has the brains. Dougal has muscles.
STIs.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that too.
He's not wrong.
Well, you are pretty brawny. I mean, let's face it. You might win. You might win in a fight.
I don't have STIs.
Which is
The character does.
Dougal has a sensitive. He does have a sensitive side.
He does. I think over the last couple of weeks, I've been learning that some people view Dougal as a bit of a villain, and I was so taken aback by that, and that I've always read him with this innate sympathy for everything he does, and I just completely fell in love with him from the moment that I read him on the page, and then I'd sort of realised that we were entwined in that way, and I viewed him as this entirely sympathetic antagonist who's tortured and misjudged and misplaced, and that is a phenomenally interesting thing to play with.
Tortured's a great word for Dougal, really, and you'll see that in the show of what that actually means.
Massive use.
Well, he's not the only tortured character. Because we have Rory, we have poor Murtaugh,
More emotionally tortured character.
who is very tortured because let's tell us about him and kind of the situation we find him in.
Yeah, he's kind of down on his luck at this point. He thinks he's got a chance with the full package, Ella, and he's wrong because he's competing with Brian, who, as you can see, is very strong and handsome and has a very shiny face, which in the 1700s goes a very, very long way.
Can we get some powder in for Jane?
Checks on Jamie.
Excellent skincare routine, 1700s. That's what cow's milk.
Glow.
Yeah.
Heather.
Sea holly. Ellen can't even see me because she's blinded by Jamie's head. So Murta, that's the start of his emotional torture. He doesn't quite get what he wants, but then he has to kind of keep his eyes open and keep hoping that something might come his way.
Yeah.
And good stuff does come his way, but I kind of saddle my wagon to Jamie, and we kind of have to get through the fact that we both love the same woman. And it's not easy for two brothers to figure out together.
It is.
It's difficult.
It is. Well, we wish the best for you. I want to wrap up with a.
I feel like I'm being like sent off to sea or something.
Good luck, buddy.
Off we go. Good luck out there.
He's not gonna do well.
He's not gonna make
You
it.
might need
Right, I just take some snacks
Off
and
you
I'll
go.
be out of here.